Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 8 of Enigmatica 2 Expert. Last episode we set up our ore process, or not ore processing, ore generation, I guess. And it's only been running for like 30 minutes. I'm recording this video basically right after the end of the previous one, but we can already see tons and tons of resources. Today I wanted to take these 11 stacks of gold and process them. Let's just real quick refresh ourselves on how we've been doing that. Take 11 stacks of gold ore, place it in this chest. The builder builds a nice solid block of it, and then I vein mine it. Very easy. I guess 11 stacks is a bit over our ability to get in one go, but that turns into a whole lot of gold ingots very quickly. Cool. So this system is great. It makes tons of stuff. However, it doesn't quite get everything. There are some resources distinctly missing here. For example, platinum. If we look at platinum, the ore for it, platinum ore doesn't come from sifting any of these resources, like sand, gravel, or dust. Where are you, platinum? Here we are. In fact, is there any sifting that gets us platinum? Maybe not. Let's see. Doesn't look like it. So that platinum's probably a bad example. But stuff like cobalt only comes from netherrack, crushed netherrack. So we're going to still have to expand this system more in the future. However, for now, this covers 90% of the things I go mining for. And if I periodically have to go mining for some platinum, so be it. Whatever. This, however, does use a fair bit of energy. I think it's 1,000 RF a tick each. There's 4 of them, so that's 4,000 RF a tick. Now that's less than what we're making, but it's pretty close to it, right? We're making 6,400 plus some others. In total, probably about like 8,000 RF a tick, and half of it is being consumed. So let's really quickly scale up our energy production. The biggest thing we're missing to do this is just more Enderium. So let's make a large batch of Enderium. For that, we, once again, need platinum. That's kind of why I used it as an example, but I have a lot of platinum dust from the one time I went mining for it. Because I mine it in the nether, right? Each piece of nether ore becomes like 6 to 8 platinum dust. Pretty good deal. Anyways, platinum, lead. I'm going to need more lead. Is there a way I could turn ore into, all the crushers, I guess? Because you get 4 directly from that, but that only let's just use our squeezer for it. I could continue to do the mining thing I did with the pickaxe, but that gives me ingots, and then I have to turn ingots into ore, which is a little annoying. But let's see. Now that I have the arc furnace, I can use that to process the Enderium blend into ingots directly. That makes my life just a little bit easier. 4 stacks of ender pearls makes. This should be enough to make 4 stacks of Enderium. That'll last us a long time. I think I've shown this before, but reservoirs make crafting Enderium blends so much easier. It'll, instead of taking it from a bucket, it'll take it out of the reservoir. And it's 4 buckets of this. Go into here, distribute yourself somewhat evenly. 800 distribution is not remotely close to even. And we don't have nearly enough power to run all 12 slots at once, so it's doing its best. And you know what, little arc furnace? Your best is not very good right now. Whatever. Well, that runs, let's take the ingots that are made. I think to turn these into the turbine blades, it takes 10 to make 8 blades, and I think I have enough to do 2. And then an 11th one to make the rotor, so 11 ingots per thing. Can I make these? Yeah, I can make a few of them. All right, let's get 2 more turbines up and running just for now. And then I'll add more as the ingots finish crafting. But it's a lot of nested crafting. None of it's like difficult. It's all materials we have tons of. But hey, look, more power. But I just have to go through the steps of clicking it all. Yeah, now we're making 9,600 RF a tick. At some point, I'll have to upgrade these machines too, but I don't think we're at that point yet. We can get a remarkable lot out of It's the baseline production without upgrades. Last few additional turbines brings us up to 22,000 RF a tick if we can consume it all, which we can't. But I think we're nearing the point of that being... Yeah, in fact, we're consuming ethylene faster than we're generating it now, which means that we do actually have to upgrade these. Okay, fine. The crusher is super easy to upgrade. Just go to the factory version, and then these machines just need to go to their or need speed and energy upgrades. This pack is nice enough to allow the mechanism upgrade to stack above 8. Normally, they only stack to 8, which is a little annoying because each machine accepts 8. So to put max upgrades into a machine, you need a lot of inventory slots. But if you put maximum speed and energy upgrades into the machine, I believe it retains its efficiency. That is, it takes the same amount of total energy for operation. It needs more power because it does the operation faster. But yeah, it retains its efficiency. So I'm going to do that with all of these. Actually, hold on. I know some of these machines... for most machines, if you have more energy upgrades than speed upgrades, it doesn't... how do I describe it? If you have more energy upgrades than speed upgrades, the energy upgrades are ineffective. So in... Well, here, I'm just going to put all of these in here and see what this does. Yeah, in some machines, like the crush... or like, generally speaking, I think it's all machines with the factory version. The energy or the speed upgrades at full is 10x effect, and energy upgrades at full is 10x effect. So basically, the scaling of speed upgrades is roughly quadratic. In machines that don't have a factory form, like the electric lytic separator, speed upgrades go up to 256 times. That is, the effect is exponential. Which means that if you actually put 8 speed upgrades in one of these, it can... Is it actually... Hold on. It's dumping excess of this, but it's idle. Are you actually running? You're not, right? But yeah, when it does run, it can use all 6,000 RF a tick to make hydrogen. Which is a lot more than... Basically, I'm saying one of these, because it has 8 speed upgrades, can make an absolute boatload of hydrogen. Way more than we could possibly dream of needing. Anyways, the pressurized reaction chamber, I think, is another one of those. Oh no, this has speed upgrades only go up to 8x or 10x, despite it not having a factory version. So I guess I don't know the rules for why some go to 8, some go to 10, some go to 256. Mechanism is confusing like that, I guess. Whatever, this is another one that goes to 256. Anyways, now with all of our machines upgraded, technically this can go even further if needed, but we can produce fuel like 100 times faster than this turbine can consume it. Cool. Let's move on. Here's a quest reward I didn't claim earlier. Is that the only one? Yeah. Let's see what's in it. Alright, I'll take food. I think we're at the point where most quest rewards aren't that exciting anymore, but, you know, I'm down to be surprised. Right now, I want to continue going with some industrial craft stuff, so let's go into the industrial craft tab, and I specifically want to get to these quests down here. I don't care for iridium yet, but I want to get a replicator because a lot of these machine frames can be made, in fact, let's take a look, can be made with UU matter. So, frame. Well, we can't make that machine frame yet, but well, there's another bad example of a machine frame I can't make. In fact, let's just look for that can be replicated tooltip. Here we go. Everything you see on this page can be printed with UU matter, and most of it has pretty competitive prices. Like these advanced machine casings, they're not impossible to make, but they're enough to be annoying. Well, for 16 millibuckets of UU matter, you can get an advanced machine casing. Sign me up. Steel casings, 17.5 millibuckets of UU matter. It's a lot more expensive than they were in Trillionaire. Right? In Trillionaire, the costs were measured in microbuckets. Here, they're measured in millibuckets. But they're still a lot easier than making a bunch of these frames. So that's my plan. I'm gonna set up the mass fabricator system to start printing machine frames. There's actually a lot of things in here we've already done. We just done it in a different order. So the quests aren't unlocked. For example, we've made a, well, we haven't made a macerator, but we've made advanced machine casings, we've made advanced alloy compressor. So I'm going to do some of these quests again, just for the loot chest. And because these machines are like incredibly cheap at this point. 6 completed quests here. I think they all give loot chests, so food. Ooh, that's very good. In fact, I'm going to replace you. This one only makes 8 cobblestone. I'll make 64. I just didn't bother making the higher tier ones because these platings take a lot of steps. It's not a lot of stuff, it's a lot of steps. That'll be useful. That's not useful. Sure. That could be useful. How do we craft these? I know it looked... here's the recipe. Alright, I mean, it's good to get your first set, because I'm probably just going to replicate it with UU matter down the line. Alright, so I guess, for me not being excited about loot boxes, well, there's some halfway decent loot boxes. Now, working down this line, we're going to need a number of recyclers, a matter fabricator, a mining laser, mostly just crafting. Unless there's anything interesting in the crafting, I'm just going to skip it all, do it off camera. Ooh, finally done with all the crafting. I'll end up with a blank pattern in my inventory. Who knows? But didn't complete many of the quests because I'm suddenly blocked by this recycler quest that randomly requires scrap. Alright, so I have all the components. Now let's start setting it up. There's actually... No, rewind. One more thing I have to do before I set that up, and that's start making overclockers. Recyclers without overclockers totally suck. So let's take a look at what overclockers require in this pack. These are the speed upgrades for industrial craft, and I think it's only this tier of overclocker. So they're not that bad. Tin, control circuits, copper, and IC2 coolant. Is there any way to make this besides... I guess we'll do it in the fluid canning machine. We have tons of lapis, so we have to... Let's look through all the steps. Step 1, crush lapis. This can be done... Manufactory... Yeah, we'll make another manufactory to crush the lapis pretty fast. Then we have to take that and run it through a canning machine with water, and then we have to run that through a... So that makes the coolant, and then we have to run everything through a carpenter to turn it into overclockers. We can't do that last step by hand like we can usually do. I'll set all that up as just one processing line, and because it's a mix of RF and EU consuming machines, we'll use the universal cable. Very convenient. I take back my statement about having tons of lapis. I have not tons of lapis. In fact, I have 75 pieces plus a stack of blocks. And it takes, if I use the, there's 2 recipes here. If I use this one, it basically takes a block per bucket. So it takes almost 3 blocks to make 2 overclockers. This other recipe is way more efficient, however, it requires distilled water. And there is nothing in here telling me how to make distilled water. I believe there's 2 distilleries. There's a solar distillery, which distills from, well, solar, and... Can we use immersive tech distilled water for this purpose, or are they... No, I think industrial craft distilled water and immersive tech distilled water don't appear to be interchangeable. That's a shame. Alright, well, yeah, wait, is this... No, this is how I use it, never mind. I swear there was an energy-based one, but maybe... not in this version of industrial craft. Alright, I guess we have to use the solar one then. We'll just, we'll time and bottle it to make it run faster. There really isn't much to the solar distiller. It give it water, it gives you distilled water. It's the slowest thing in the world. Even when timing a bottle, it's crazy slow. In fact, we should probably just use more than one. And I'm gonna look through here, make sure there's not like a recipe. Well, we can't use that machine anyways, right? We can't make a flow transform. Dang it. There's just no good way to make distilled water and not take forever. I could make a lot of solar distillers, but it's like, bleh. Alright, whatever. I'll deal with it. I caved and made a few more solar distillers. It's become painfully evident to me that distilled water is not the way to go. I'd be better off just going mining for lapis to try to speed this up. So anyways, what I'm going to do is build up a large tank of distilled water while I'm offline. But for now, once I get enough fluid in here that I can like do one more craft of it so I don't waste, you know what, I don't know. Whatever, I'll switch this up later. But we're going to have to use regular water for now and just burn all of our lapis. It's alright, our lapis is automated. Well, you know, we'll get more lapis. Is okay. Anyways, next step is to take this IC2 coolant, put that through a carpenter with all the crafting ingredients. Oh, wrong here. In plates, electric circuit, copper cable. In plates. This is a valid substitute, right? Copper cable. Is it just because there's not enough coolant? Yeah, that's probably it. Alright, well, at this point, let's turn off this fluid insert. And then, how do I purge this slot? I'm sure there's a way. I think the gauge dropper. No, this slot's probably just not okay. Here, this is the way. Break the machine, it purges all the slots. And then set the mode again and give it the fluid, which will be water. Yeah, I'm gonna need another water source. We'll slip the water source down here, and now this is making, somewhat slowly, but it's making the coolant from regular water, which means it's going to use more lapis. As long as I keep this drawer stocked with as much lapis as we have, we'll make as much as we can. But that is as much as we have. Yo, that's 12 stacks of lapis. It's not half bad, right? I've even got some lapis ores left. So, explosions. Can I do better than pickaxing it? I get a lot if I pickaxe it. I don't know if I get more than 12, though. Here, this tells me. Fortune 3, I average 13, so I do get more than 12. Does anyone promise me more than 13 easily? Ooh, you promised me exactly 13. This would be more than 13 with a grinding ball, but I don't have that. Alright, well, now that I've gone through all that work of looking through the list, I'm just going to do it with a pickaxe. A few more stacks of lapis, another 6.5. So, yeah, this system now will produce overclockers. Let's store them in a chest, say right here. And it takes 8 pieces of lapis, and I guess that's it. 8 pieces of, oh no, 8 pieces of lapis makes 1 bucket, so 12 pieces of lapis. Right, because it's 24 to make 2 overclockers. So 12 pieces of lapis per overclocker. Not an awful deal. Now that we have overclockers crafting, 38 of them, and I think there's more where, yeah, we're just bottlenecked by manufacturing speed. That's okay. Now that we have those crafting, let's move on to the recyclers. Recyclers take any item, literally any item except a blacklist. And the blacklist is, here, let's check. Just to make sure that I'm not walking myself into this blacklist right now. Recycler blacklist. Good. These are the items that are blacklisted from the recycler, and I'm going to feed it with chiseled water bits. It's just an item that's very easy to make a lot of. So you fill a chiseled bit tank, and then you can get chiseled bits of water from that. So if I put 10 recyclers, or 10 overclockers in here, it does 1 operation per tick, and you can see that from a stack of input, I got 5 output. It takes a lot of input to reliably make a lot of output. By the way, I did that so that I could get these quests done. So I'm going to claim all of these and see what we get. Food. Why you do this? Why? 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 Alright, at least that's what that one doesn't kill me. Sure. Sure. A little bit. And, okay, well, fine. Fine, IC2. Fine. I see how it is. Honestly, I can't even blame IC2 for that. I mean, I can for IC2 having that awful mechanic. But, I blame the reward bag for giving me that item. Anyways, we're gonna now have to distribute the items from the chiseled bit tanks into each of these recyclers, and we have to move items extremely fast, because if we want to go even faster, like we can put 14 overclockers in one of these, and it does more than one operation per tick. So, in fact, I think 14 is where I'm going to start. 14 overclockers per recycler. Now, as for how I'm going to move these items that fast, I actually plan on using integrated dynamics, because as far as I can tell, that is the fastest way of moving items available in this pack. There are no translocators. So, let's see. We can use... I'm thinking about putting... Well, we're not going to do the super fancy stuff with this yet, but it's an item interface and item exporters, which I think hopefully don't have too awful on recipe. Well, these are standard recipes, except the piston. Easy. Use this to move items. I put the interface on the tank here and exporters on each of the machines, and we want to export all items. That'll move up to a stack per tick, which is obviously very good. I mean, that's also the most you could possibly do, right? So, put one of these cards in each of these. In each of these, the default value of a blank card is true. Something I learned last time I used integrated dynamics, which means you don't actually have to program them to be true. All right. So now we are making scrap. I'm still waiting for the rest of the overclockers, but there we go. At some point, we might need to actually make water faster than this. In fact, we can already... Oh, I don't know. If we need a denser infinite water source, I'll figure something out. But for now, this will do. So this makes scrap. For maximum efficiency, you do want to turn scrap into scrap boxes. I'm also starting to run out of sides on these machines. I guess I still have the front side. I will, for what is probably the first time in my life, use a tier 1 RF Tools crafter. The only reason I do that is because crafters take about 7 billion trees each. There's 16 crafting tables in, well, to make the tier 1, and another 16 crafting tables to make a tier 2, and another 16 to make a tier 3. So since I don't have wood automated yet, there's literally no benefit of the higher tier ones. Normally, the upgrade is so cheap that I just only use tier 3 crafters, but the only difference is the number of recipe slots that you get. And since I only need one recipe slot, we're golden. Alright, so now we have scrap boxes. Next up, let's start using those scrap boxes to make UU matter. That's done in a matter fabricator. I'll put the matter fabricator right here. So as you can hear, it's already running. That's bad. I don't want it running right now. I want it to only run when it has scrap. But for now, I'm just going to turn it off. And in fact, I want there to be a buffer of scrap. So I'm going to actually move this and put our buffer chest here. The matter fabricator is far more energy efficient at making UU matter when you give it scrap boxes. So to facilitate that, you can give it scrap or scrap boxes, but scrap boxes are slightly better than regular scrap. So anyways, what I want to do then is I want to use our buffer of scrap here, and if the buffer ever drains, I want to turn the machine off. The machine stops running if it receives a redstone signal. So what I'm doing is I'm detecting the fullness of the drawer here, and then with the comparator in subtract mode, I have it comparing against or subtracting a value of, I mean, it can be in compare mode too, that's fine, in either mode. But I compare it to a value of 1. Hey, don't shoot me, I'm trying to sleep here, buddy. Don't do it. Don't do it. Sucker. Haha, idiot. Anyways, oh, hold on. Did I get a... No, my CD. My CD. Alright, you can blow him up. You are not allowed to blow up. I want my CD. Did I get a CD from that? If a creeper... Oh, it's... Never mind. I need it the other way around to get CDs, don't I? The skeleton needs to kill the creeper, not the creeper kills the skeleton. Rat. Anyways, as I was saying, we compare it to a value of 1. That's basically just to say, is the drawer empty? If the drawer is not empty, we take the signal, not gate it, whatever, put it back into the mass fabricator. This just turns it off when the drawer, if the drawer were to run out. The mass fabricator or matter fabricator here will accept as much energy as you jam into it. So we can also set up some type of like redstone logic to say, in fact, I should probably do that. If our thing here is less than a certain fullness, to turn off the matter fabricator. Because this will be like our lowest priority energy expenditure. But we'll get around to that in a bit. For now, that makes UU matter. I want to get a tank to hold that. I'm gonna perhaps be a little ambitious and get a large tank to hold UU matter. Start with this and then I'll upgrade it, enchant it, yada yada yada. You know what? In the spirit of being ambitious, I'm going to use one of those resident upgrade kits we got as a quest reward. And yeah, this thing holds a lot of fluid. 800 millibuckets. Oh, please don't just give me soulbound. Okay, good. 2.4 million millibuckets of UU matter. Will we ever fill that up? Probably not. No, I'd be thoroughly surprised if we did. But a little ambition goes a long ways, right? Anyways, next up, that fluid is consumed in the replicator. So I'm going to put a replicator here. Next to the replicator, you want to put a pattern storage. And next to the pattern storage, you want to put a scanner. We'll get to what exactly these three machines do in a second. But let's next... You know, I kind of set this up weird. Whatever. Extract, insert it into here. Alright, we've already made 46 millibuckets of UU matter. Before I get to setting up these machines though, I saw that this connection seems to be bottlenecking our energy consumption to the point where our turbine here... Oh no, now it's empty. Let's make a couple changes. First of all, let's swap all of our energy conduits out to the next tier. So, energy conduits unfortunately only go up to Ender tier, but Ender energy conduits transfer a lot of energy. There's one relevant config setting here. Is can energy conduits of different tiers connect to each other? No, they cannot. If the configs are set to allow energy conduits of different tiers to connect to each other, you can actually just only replace the endpoints with the higher tier conduits and leave the rest of the system running on the lower tier conduits, and it doesn't break anything. Because it's only the endpoints that determine the throughput of a network, but that's why that config is typically not allowed. So I'm going to have to go through here and upgrade all of these. At least you could, you know, upgrade the thing with a single right click. It's not quite as easy as upgrading mechanism conduits or cables, where you can just click the upgrade item directly onto the cable, and then it'll go seek out the next segment to upgrade. But this isn't like that much worse. Swapped all the energy cables out for Ender, which are 125,000 per tick per connection. So because it's per connection, we can actually transfer way more than that on an entire energy network. But anyways, because the matter fabricator will accept all the energy we jam into it, we do want some way of turning it off when our energy situation is low. Like right now, well, I should probably put a capacitor on this. In fact, I'll add a capacitor to this in a second. But what I'm doing is, hold on, yeah, I'm allowed to do this. Okay, I just want to make sure my redstone's not interfering with itself here. You know what? I'm actually just going to move this. I'm not convinced that it's not interfering. So anyways, we can use this sensor module to detect the state of the turbine. So we can set, if the power capacitor is over 25% full, emit a redstone signal. I unfortunately can't toggle this. This is just a readout to tell me what it is. So because I want it... What's one of those cracked stone bricks? Because I wanted... oh, if I smelt stone bricks, do they crack? Yeah, cool. Alright, but yeah, since I want the other opposite state of this, right? If the energy capacitor is empty, or relatively empty, I want a redstone signal to turn off the mass fabricator. I just put a NOT gate here. And then we will put a redstone transmitter here. This is a wireless transmitter. Link it with the receiver. Where'd my receiver go? Did you steal it? Link it with the receiver, and then we can take this receiver and put this, link this to you. Here we can do, and yeah, and it'll turn the mass fabricator off when our energy is low. Now our energy should, or this the energy in here, once it refills the conduit buffer. I guess we could have just checked the state of the conduit buffer for energy. Well, whatever, too late now. We should see that once this bar goes up, this redstone torch should shut off, and our mass fabricator should start toggling on and off, basically to keep our energy at a certain level. Now, I'll have to check to see if this is toggling every tick. Basically, if the state of this sensor module is updating every single tick, then we'll have to do something slightly different, because we'll have to add a latch, because I don't want to toggle the state of my mass fabricator every single tick. But I'm going to let this run a bit. It has to fill, there's a couple, for some reason the tooltip doesn't tell me, but there's a couple 100 million RF conduit buffer it has to fill up. By adding a capacitor to our turbine, we can dramatically increase its internal buffer. That just means that, well, it has an internal buffer now. Anyways, it seems like we still haven't filled up the energy thing. Let me make sure this is working. Are you actually off? Yeah, you're actually off. This is full. Okay, so I guess, yeah, it actually just is the buffer in this energy conduit. It's bigger than I gave it credit for. Yeah, whatever. Then another minute or so, and our turbine not here now is full of energy, which is weird. It should never get full, because if it goes above the 25% mark, right, I expect it to dump its energy. I think what's happening is, yeah, the sensor module actually outputs a weak redstone signal, which is not powering the stone bricks, which is causing it to, give that back to me, which is causing it to not be a not gate, a not gate, which I guess makes it a gate. Anyways, we just need a repeater for that. Or to fix that. Let's see, grab a repeater. So now this is, wait, what? Oh, it's, yeah, the energy is now empty because I got rid. Don't worry about it. Repeater, that, redstone torch, and redstone transmitter. There we go. So now this should once again have stopped the mass fabricator. Of course, because the mass fabricator ran for a little while, it probably drained 100% of the conduit buffer. You can see, yeah, it's currently refilling the conduit buffer in the universal cable, and then it has to fill the conduit buffer in the energy conduit, and then it can start filling the buffer in the capacitor. Here we go. We can see the capacitor here is starting to fill. I set this threshold up to over 75% full now. Basically, I want the energy to be stored here in case something else needs it. But if we're almost full, I don't want to not wait. I don't want to waste generation. So that's when we want to turn the mass fabricator on. So 75% of 25 million is what, like 16 million? Once we get to the 16 million mark, which we're creeping up on, we should observe the redstone torch turn off. Let's just wait for it. It'll only take another couple of seconds. I should also add more turbines up here. We're almost at 16.7. Why aren't you doing the thing? Oh, wait. Oh, I guess I just estimated the threshold wrong. But yeah, we saw it turned on briefly, which cause here it comes again. Wait for it. Wait for it. And go. But I guess in that short little period that it's running, the mass fabricator gets to run for a couple blips, and in those couple blips, it's probably draining. Does it have an internal buffer? I don't know. But its average production over time, rounded over time, will be equal to our energy production. So this just guarantees that there's always energy available on the network for more important things. But if we're about to start effectively wasting energy production, it'll all get dumped into here, at least as much as the ultimate cable can transfer. Cool. So we've produced 230 millibuckets of it so far, just in the time that I was setting this up. All right, now back to these machines. So the scanner can scan any item that has a UU matter cost and generate like a pattern for it. So the entire list can be found in here, but most of the things in this list are here in balance. Yeah. Well, I guess this isn't the entire list. This is just some basic items. There's an entire list that can be found, but I guess this list is probably most of the items that are interesting. Industrial craft has like a billion items of its own that have extra values like diamonds and other stuff. Almost all of it we don't care the slightest bit about. But mostly it's just these various machine frames type stuff that we do. So let's start with the IC2 machine frame because we use a lot of these advanced casings and they're kind of annoying to make. So I just make one more of them. Do I have one more? No. Make one more of these and throw it into the scanner. It does this like a sweepy thingy and it advances 1% progress each time. When it's done, this item is destroyed, gone, gonzo, turned to dust. So make sure, make sure you're not going to miss it too much. But then we can save a pattern for that. So if I make a pattern, I have to type with one hand because I have to hit my push to talk key. Okay, maybe it's not called a pattern. What is it called? Crystal memory. So if we make a crystal memory, and then I guess we technically have to cook this. I have a furnace here somewhere. Okay, let's borrow this furnace for a second. We can put the crystal memory in that slot. Speed this up a little bit. There we go, much better. It does use energy. In fact, it uses a fair bit of energy. But there we go, 60 millibuckets of UU matter. Click save. And now that pattern is saved onto the crystal memory. We come over here to the pattern storage, import it from the crystal, and now the pattern is saved in the pattern storage. The replicator can link to any adjacent pattern storage and just pull the recipes from there. So they're basically all saved in this pattern storage, and as long as I don't break the pattern storage, I can reuse this crystal memory for whatever next machine casing we have. But now if I want, I can just hit the single run button and it'll make me one advanced machine casing by consuming, the appropriate amount of UU matter, 16 millibuckets. Bam. Make that process a little bit faster. I'm going to take some overclockers and put them in here. This machine does use energy. I know the pattern says it uses 0 EU, but the replicator uses EU just in the process of running. So now if I hit this button, it'll quite quickly make me an advanced machine case. I could hit the repeat button and it just runs as much as it can, but I wish it was like a make 10 button, but I can do this, make me. After a couple, I'll hit the stop. Well, I probably should switch to single run so it doesn't void the process of the current run. But anyways, yeah, this is a easier way to make machine casings given sufficient UU matter. So one more thing I want to do today. With this setup, every time I make a new type of machine casing, I'll just scan it here. But one last thing I want to wrap today up with is just adding more turbines. Adding more Enderium turbines to this so that we can produce, more power. So right now we are at 14. Let's see about making the other 36. That sounds juicy. Vroom, vroom. The sound is awful. Crafting all of these Enderium turbines took probably upwards of 2,000-3,000 iron ingots. Which would not have been possible without the sifting setup to provide them. But here we have it, 36 more turbines, which should bring the total output of this gas burning, whatever gas generator, up to 80,000 RF a tick. Let's confirm that. Yep, 80,000 RF a tick, consuming 7.3 millibuckets of fuel a tick, and it should be able to produce, our mechanism set up here should be able to keep up with that. No, that is a lie. That is very much so a lie. Why is that a lie? You are not powered. Ah, I think I missed a power cable right under there. Ah, I missed 2 power cables. Oopsies. Can I get up? That's not it. Come on, let me get the last one. There we go. Now everything's running again. And now this number should start going up. I think on average it's going up, which is really what matters. Because this thing runs in discrete runs. Nice. So right now we're producing 80,000 RF a tick. That's the most a single one can do because you can only fit 50 turbines on it. We could make a second if we wanted, but we're producing way more than enough fuel to run it. So these like 5 machines here produce enough fuel to power 80,000 RF a tick, and that results in just improved uptime of our matter fabricator here. It still turns off from time to time, but you know, it runs a while, turns off a while, yada yada yada, and the result of that is lots of UU matter. So I think this episode has gone horrifically long, and that's a good thing, right? We'll stop here for now. Next time we'll come back and see how much UU matter we've built up. We're currently at 600 millibuckets. In fact, I'm just gonna like dump all of these in here. We're currently at 600 millibuckets and a little over 600, but it'll be probably a couple days. Well, I don't know, maybe a day before I record the next video. When we get back, we'll see how full this is. I'm sure this will be full. It's a question of how much is in this tank. I can assure you the tank won't be full, unfortunately. Alright, whatever, enough of me yabbing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.